here we are, getting ready for an episode of the List Game, and we're listening to the birds around my house in Santa Barbara. I think I left the speakers on because I can hear the feedback from the speakers. It's okay. And you know what we're going to tell the birds? Sure if you guys can hear it or not, but we're listening to this bird chirping. I'm going to tell that bird what we always say when we're starting an episode of the List Game. It's time to shut up, bird, because we're starting an episode of the List Game. I'm your host, Daniel French, and we have a Skeleton Crew List Game today. We have the great Rod Diaz. Woo-hoo. We have the fantastic Alexis Bird.
Hello.
With her bird that she brought with her outside.
Yeah. I always come prepared.
We left the windows open. We're just going for it, Rod, today. And we have Kevin Johnson. Looking shiny and clean.
Kevin 11.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I say Kevin 11, you say Kevin Johnson. When I say Kevin Johnson, you say Kevin 11.
Kevin Johnson.
Oh, I see. It's Kevin Johnson 11. It's Kevin John 11.
It's my porn name.
It's all about centimeters. All right, today's List Game topic is we are Knights of the Round Table and have been sent on the quest of the Holy Grail. Who are we going to take with us? Where are we going to look? How are we going to get the Holy Grail? Blake, give us that opening line. Oh, he's not here. Okay, go ahead, Rod.
We need the knights that say "ni."
So they're going to travel with us?
Of course, they're
Wouldn't we go insane?
We would also need the Black Knight, although he'll try to fight you. And
He just gets chopped up, man.
but he's tenacious.
What's wrong with the Black Knight? I remember him from that story.
Wait, no, but then wasn't there also the
He says, "I'll bite your leg off."
like Martin Lawrence film?
It's only a flesh wound.
It's just a scratch. It's just a flesh wound.
That reminds me, we'll take this guy with us just because I was just editing what's already going to be out by the time anybody listens to this, the pirate episode on the high seas. And when I was done editing it, I found it as much dismay that nobody brought up Captain Blackhawk.
Well, I wasn't there.
You never saw that?
No.
Oh, it was a spoof on SNL about like the Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Tracy Morgan was Captain Blackhawk.
Yeah.
Hi, Captain Sparrow. I'm Captain Blackhawk.
No, that makes me happy that it was Tracy Morgan who played that. I rewatched Monty Python and the Holy Grail last night, and then I was looking at the credits to like solidify in my mind who played who, and then I don't even remember who it was, but they kept mentioning the Green Knight, and I'm like, I don't remember that there was a Green Knight, so like please clarify for me like what that is. And I'm like, is my memory that bad?
When you meet the Black Knight before King Arthur fights the Black Knight and chops off his arms and his legs and stuff, you get to see the Black Knight kill this other guy who was trying to cross the bridge, and that's was the Green Knight.
But I feel like
and he was wearing all green.
When I looked at the credits, they made it out to be like it was this big role, and it's like that sounds so minor.
No. He doesn't even have a line.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Okay,
he gets a couple grunts in.
They just recorded him while he was having sex for those sound effects.
And the way he got killed is he was running at the Black Knight with an axe over his head, and the Black Knight throws his sword underarm like he's pitching a softball, and it goes through the dude's face.
Gosh, man.
That's brilliant.
The Black Plague.
If you've seen the movie poster for the movie Black Knight, it's just like he's just like
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Football jersey on or something like.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Does he think he's Batman in it or something?
Was not Liam Neeson the Green Knight in Excalibur?
Yes.
Yeah. He was
Was
the one.
Liam Neeson one of your words?
No.
Oh,
No!
okay.
I gotta keep
it came
give
out
it
of
to
nowhere.
me.
I was like, Liam Neeson taken? What?
Liam Neeson, man, he was like, Lancelot, stop sleeping around with the king's wife, yo.
Was that exactly how he said it?
Pretty much.
You know how to give it a contemporary format.
All right, what are we packing up in our backpacks and satchels as we put our caravan together to travel the lands to go find the Holy Grail? Because, it is King Arthur and stuff. We're starting in England, right?
Right.
So, are we going to have scones?
Toothbrush, prison shank, please.
I think we should have a European or an African swallow.
Yes.
Yes.
Agreed.
Highly important.
And large wooden scales or whatever with the duck. So we can
Ah,
measure
the
to see
scales
who
that
is
they
a
weighed the witch on.
Yes,
If she weighs as much as a duck.
It's a question of weight ratios, right?
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to.
And just because it's all English, I say we got to have spotted dick.
Right? Isn't that and like in England that's a dessert.
It's
like
a
spotty
pudding.
dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a pudding.
Which it's like
It's a
okay,
pudding that has meat in it or
who
something.
fucking came up with that name? Like
Come
seriously.
on. It must have had a very yogurt-like consistency.
It's very creamy. Oh god.
So we're loading up our packs with spotted dick, scones, and stuff like that. Oh, what's this goopy
There
stuff in my
wasn't
pack?
scales.
And I'm not into the horses so much. I mean, maybe we can be riding horses, but I want to carry a lot more stuff. I want something bigger.
You
than
mean like
horses.
a wagon?
What you want like an ox? Like
an-
oxen?
Oh,
Like
maybe
an-
some oxen,
like
some
an elephant?
carts. An elephant caravan. I want an elephant caravan where you can have like two elephants walking next to each other with this double platform thing
Is
in
Elephant
between them.
Caravan on your list?
Yes, it is.
That's like Hannibal shit, where it's like you
You're-
attack with the elephants, right? Right? Anyone? History?
Yes.
Little Hannibal, they said he did that.
Hannibal was badass.
Oh, I know. I'm like
Yeah, I
anyone
know.
who like starts a siege with elephants, like that's totally badass.
Anybody who takes elephants from Africa into Europe and then kicks ass in Europe with
Yeah.
said elephants is a badass.
But now, if we do have elephants and we do it Monty Python style, okay, for horses, you had to bang coconuts together.
That's right.
Right.
So, what are we doing for elephants?
The real question is, where do we get the coconuts?
I want some
in
really
Northern
big
Europe?
coconuts to bang together, man.
Coconuts aren't migratory.
No, because you need more of like a thudding sound for elephants, because it's like the ground is pretty much shaking. When you
Bowling
walk.
balls.
We need,
Well, and then you
drum.
need like some sort of trumpet noise, right?
Vuvuzelas.
I got an idea for making the drum sounds.
What?
You can use the helmets
The helmets that the knights wear?
that the knights wear as drums.
You can use a helm. Nice. Who gets to be the drummer?
I think there's a scene in the Monty Python and the Holy Grail where that actually happens when they're singing about Camelot. I eat my ham and spamalot.
That's
and
right.
It goes ding, 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 ding. I have to push the pramalot. I didn't know what that meant for a long time. And in England, the pram is the broom.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
I thought that was like a baby carriage.
No.
I thought it was. I thought.
I always thought it was a
a
broom.
pram was like the cart you put all the dead in.
Bring out
Bring
your
out
dead!
I'm not dead yet. I will be shortly.
Could you help me out on this one?
Bring anything you can do. When you're coming around again, I won't be back till Thursday. Something we could do?
Yeah.
You must be a king. Makes you say that. He's got shit all over him. I always wish that they had done that, like repeated some of those lines in different places throughout that story. When Galahad's doing his story at the Castle Anthrax and all those horny chicks are there.
Yeah.
You open one door and there's actually another dude there. Oh, he must be a king. Why? Because it's good to be the king.
We were talking about it earlier, how like they're not actually on horses. They're just kind of like prancing around, pretending to be on
Yeah, I know.
horses with the sound of coconuts. But like that part of it just cracks me up every time. And then I didn't know that Graham Chapman, who played King Arthur, is actually gay. And I was like, okay, no wonder he was like prancing especially well. Like he really got a little like finesse in there. You know what I mean?
And remember, each night had their own special servant guy
Well, yes, yeah,
to
it was
bang the
his
coconuts.
faithful
coconuts.
servant Patsy, and I was like, Patsy.
Oh,
are
yes.
you-
King Arthur's
like,
servant was Patsy.
Patsy, like,
Come, Patsy.
it's like I'm not trying to read between the lines here, but like, Patsy, really?
I love the interaction with peasants in the beginning. Oh my God, it is fantastic.
Oh, when they talk about like, who made you king?
Yeah,
Oh, there's some lemony filth over here.
yeah. It's
That's
like,
not how it works.
yeah, it's like, I can't expect people to follow me just because some watery tot throws me a scimitar.
Some warrior think threw a scimitar at me. If I went around and said I was king because of some farcical aquatic ceremony.
No, we're anarcho-syndicalists.
They're a what?
They're
I want to see if you get it right.
Yeah, they're anarcho-syndicalists.
Now I got to go back and watch that part of the movie. I don't think that's the way they say it.
I know. I gotta go back and watch it.
I need to, rewatch that and also like consult a dictionary.
So they're anarchists in a syndication, meaning they in a voluntary grouping. So there's no leader. They just sort of decide who's going to be a leader every week, and any major decisions need to be voted on by everybody
In a
That
bi-weekly meeting.
in a bi-weekly.
sounds
You're
awful.
only leader for a week, but anything you decree as law gets voted
Yes.
on in a bi-weekly meeting,
And
which means they're always behind, and it logarithmically goes
Yeah.
behind. So
But wait, it's even better. It's a simple majority vote for any affecting things that aren't really important, but really important things need a 2/3 majority.
This sounds awfully democratic for self-proclaimed anarchists. Just saying.
Well, that's why it's not anarchism; it's anarcho-syndicalism.
that's why they never searched for the Holy
particular
Grail.
form of anarchism just means there's no one leader, right? We're like, if we were an anarchist syndicalist group, 1 week you'd be making decisions, 1 week you'd be making decisions, 1 week
Sounds
you'd
like
be
an
making
STD.
decisions, 1 week I'd be making decisions, and then we go right around. But any decisions we make have to be ratified by the group.
Cool.
And we change leaders every week, but you can't vote on it for 2 weeks.
Cool. We all have herpes. Cool.
Cool.
Man, John Cleese. Well, he pops up. We're talking about the Time Bandits, but he pops up in fucking Time Bandits, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, pops up everywhere.
Was there a
Yeah,
medieval section of History of the World Part 1 or Part 2? Was there like was there a medieval section?
There never was a part 2.
Oh, there wasn't a Part 2. It's just History of the World.
Yeah.
No, it's called History of the World Part 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they never made a part 2.
Never part two.
Never made a Part 2.
Now, I know John Cleese lives in Montecito, I believe, and there was a part of me that's really wanted to try to track him down.
Oh yeah, we used to see him around town all the time.
I wanted to track him down like just for this to be like, okay, if I'm gonna rewatch Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I so want to like track down John Cleese and watch it with him in. I assume that he probably has a movie theater in his house, and then like hear everything he has to say about it. But then there's a part of me that also feels, because he's so funny in like the movies and stuff he's done, that like he'd probably be like this dry asshole in person, just like totally
The
humorless.
opposite. Yeah, the opposite.
I always just feel like he's that dude from A Fish Called Wanda. That's just who he
No,
is.
he was a really.
I can totally see that too.
Yes, I've seen him
Absolutely.
around in a while, but in Santa Barbara, you used to see him down on State Street all the time, and he used to hang out at Borders and just hang out and talk to people.
Borders was there,
Yeah,
yes.
Miss Borders.
Who's the knight that had the wooden scales that they all came to saying, burn the witch and stuff?
I forget what his name was too, but he had like the slight blue, and he really just talked like this a lot of the time. And had the weird droopy handlebar mustache.
Before they even bring him the witch, he's sitting there with a sparrow, and he's tying a vine to its leg, and the other end of the vine is tied to a coconut, and he has a.
He's experimenting with the weight of like
Yes.
that they were talking about earlier with the
They laid him
coconut
swallow.
and sparrow
And he
or
has-
swallow. Yeah.
He has this box of carrier pigeons. That you have to see it. It's in the background. And whenever you see like the whole crew together as they're taking off, in every scene that the pigeons are in the scene with the box, there's one less pigeon every time. Every time you see
love
it.
how I did not notice any of that.
I don't remember that part.
He's the great scientist. That's why King Arthur is attracted to him and asks him to join. Oh, join me in the.
Right? He's
the
he's
thing
the
for the
first
Holy
one that's
Grail.
asked to join the quest for the.
Yeah, he tends to say things wrong when the giant cartoon monster comes out in the cave, and they're reading. The,
Oh, I thought you were talking about God.
No.
Second.
They're reading the wall. All right, that one priest guy is reading the wall because it's in Aramaic. when they're in that cave. Yeah, and it's like Joseph of Arimathea, and the Grail is in the castle. He's like, what do you mean? That's what it
That's
says.
what it says.
And the blue guy goes like, well, perhaps he died when he was writing it. He wouldn't have took the time to chisel. And then Sir Galahad says, perhaps he was dictating. But then the blue guys say, they say he says things wrong all the times because they're all sitting there going, they're all reading it instead of, and then the blue guy finally goes, ooh. And Lancelot turns to him and says, no, back of the throat. And he says, no, ooh, as in surprise and alarm. And then Lancelot means, oh, you mean more like, yes. And then they all turn and the monsters are ridiculous.
I feel like the night with like the slight blue and stuff that we keep talking about, I think it was something that started with a B, and I keep wanting to be
Well,
like...
there's a guy named Bors.
No,
B-O-R-S,
no, not that. But I keep wanting to be like Mr. Belvedere, but it's not Mr. Belvedere.
For the purposes of this episode of the list game, his name shall now be Sir Bendover.
Sir Bendover.
Not to be mistaken with Sir Robin, who had his own things going on.
Sir Robin was quite effeminate.
Well, they all were, except for Lancelot.
Because it was John Cleese.
But Sir Robin was the brave Sir Robin.
That's right.
He checked
Brave
it out. He
Sir
ran
Robin.
away. He lived to fight another day. And he had the minstrels.
Oh,
and there's even one part in the movie.
They kept talking about the minstrels like they were his balls. Like, did anyone else?
Oh, I gotta check that out.
I don't. I mean, maybe that's just my perverted mind. Like, my brain went there, but like, it just would be like blah, blah, Robin and his minstrels, and it was like, yeah, his balls. I get it.
They were supposed to sing about his great deeds and stuff, and then he runs into that three-headed giant dude, and while the three heads are arguing about how they're gonna kill him,
He runs away.
they take off, and then the minstrels are all, he chickened out, he ran away. I did not. Because it is an episode of the list game, I have to bring up that part about the minstrels where they talk about the Knights of the Round Table traveling the world, and they go through this one barren area through the whole winter, and they survived by...
Eating people?
They ate Robin's minstrels. Ate Sir Robin's minstrels.
Wow.
None shall pass.
Was that the inspiration?
That's
for
going
Lord
back
of
to the Black
Ring?
Knight.
I know, but I'm like, is that what was used for inspiration in Lord of the Rings, where it's like, you shall not pass?
I wouldn't be surprised. You shall not pass. In the Lord of the Rings, it's this big, giant stone bridge that goes over this football field length chasm.
And then in like the Holy Grail, it's just like a clearing in the forest.
Yeah, it's a little bridge. It's 2.5 feet
Yeah.
long,
Yeah.
and it's over this little dip that's like a foot and a half deep, and the Black Knight's guarding it. You can't cross this bridge. And it's like, he could have just walked around and said, okay, I won't cross the bridge.
The whole idea that they could have just easily went around that bridge. When every version of the King Arthur story, that shit pops off too. But who did he fight in Excalibur? Lancelot.
It was Lancelot who was guarding the bridge in Excalibur.
Yeah, okay.
And he uses,
that's right. And they end up being buddies,
he
yeah.
actually breaks Excalibur.
Yeah, he broke Excalibur.
Right, because he called upon Excalibur to help him win a battle he should not have won. He should have lost to Lancelot because Lancelot was the better knight. Mm-hmm. And so he called on the power of the sword to win and won, but broke the sword.
The cost of doing business.
No, that's just Game of Thrones must have done like a nod to that then. Like, does anyone know what I'm talking about? When there's like the flashback with Ned Stark fighting some
When he fought the Sword of the Morning.
Yeah, and it's like he's much better technically as like a swordsman than Ned Stark, but then like Ned Stark does the ultimate bad thing and like kills him without honor.
And in that story, instead of the Holy Grail, they have the chalice of destitution.
Like the beacon, sir.
The chalice of destitution will bring them to their knees.
cheese.
If you drink from it, you immediately take a dump. And
So it's a laxative?
and a nap. It's just like, day's over.
Well, that Holy Grail, man, it's not like that Ark of the Covenant. You gotta melt those Nazi faces.
That's the best faces to melt.
That guy was so creepy.
Seriously.
Fräulein, come here. Come here, Fräulein. I'm like, what is he gonna do? Like, he brought out some weapon, chains and bars, and she thought he was gonna beat her up with it, but he used it to hang up his coat.
Yeah.
Big
Sure, I'll
trivia
take it.
thing here for Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The French guys. in
Oh, they're the
castle.
best.
I told them.
I spit on your underwear. and Wave my private parts at your auntie.
Told them we've already got one.
So good.
What was the name of their castle? Oh, yeah. We're searching for the Holy Grail. We've already got one.
Thank you.
We've already got one. I can't do French now. But yes.
I don't know what the castle's name was.
It's
like,
given
in the
away by
movie.
how the movie ends.
Like Castle Police. I don't know. No, what I was gonna say though was in real life, one of the castles they filmed at was called Castle Stalker. Who would name a castle that? Like,
But I'm sure Graham Chapman is the one who picked it. Castle Stalker, we're using that one.
So what's it called?
The castle with all the French guys in it was the castle. That's why they end up back there at the end of the movie. And they're like, what? You are hit again? Oh, no, not you again. It's like, wow.
yeah, no, the
Castle,
They did already have one.
no, and I love it because they just throw out the most ridiculous insults and like throw like cows and shit at
Yeah.
them, and like that's all they do.
Typical French.
Peasants.
Common up.
And they make the wooden rabbit that's supposed to be like the Trojan horse.
And they don't get inside.
They forget to get inside.
Yeah.
What happens now? Paul's, whatever his name was, sir, bend over. And he said, well, no.
We get
We
to-
wait till nightfall and we all sneak out of the rabbit. Who? Well, me and you and him. Oh, we're still out here. Oh, shit.
I loved that what they did with the French guys, that it's like they would say a couple things actually in French, and then like the other French guy, like some of the French guys would be like, what? Like it'd be like, it's un cadeau. What? A gift. Oh yes, a cadeau.
Treasure lavage. Huh? Treasure lavage. Which means hurl the cow, right?
They should have tried digging a tunnel under the wall. They would have had better luck.
But remember when they even went close to the door, so they start digging. Later on when they come back, if they even go close to the door, the French guys start pouring chamber pots
Yeah.
on them that are filled with piss and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my, that was.
So as long as you don't mind digging a tunnel while there's piss and shit
Yeah.
being poured all over
I
you.
wonder what they actually used for that, because it was such a gross.
It was a great
color.
consistency.
Exactly. I'm like,
It
that
was-
was really realistic looking.
It was pea soup Anderson's split pea soup
Totally was. Oh my god.
with a little bit of spotted dick mixed in.
Just to keep it British.
Yes.
There was much rejoicing.
Look, Mom, I've got spotted dick splattered all over my face.
Is it spotted dick or is it spotty dick? Now
At least it's not called dick spots.
now
Tried to eat dessert in bed, now I've got dick spots all over my pillow.
And I love the rabbit.
it's like you just see like that's obviously like the puppet like flying there with the blood. Like, ah!
What's the name of the wizard that led them to the rabbit?
Was that?
And he says, it's a rabbit. And he says, that's one ill-tempered rodent. You better stand back,
I don't remember his name.
or death will follow you in sharp teeth. Sharp, gnashing teeth. You don't remember his name?
I don't remember his name.
Okay, they go up the hill, and there's all these explosions.
Yeah.
yeah. What did he
And
like,
he's standing there with, he's got ram's horns on his head, throwing fire into the air, and it's
oh,
exploding
okay,
and
so
stuff.
Thor.
Nope. Oh, great wizard, what are you known as? And he says, there are some who know me as
Oh, Tim.
Tim! His name was Tim.
You remembered.
I got it.
He had to take them to the cave. I can't remember the name of the cave right now. Where they have to fight the rabbit
Right.
to go into the cave to find the wall
The
from Joseph
Aramaic,
Arimathea.
yeah.
But while they find that, they also find Oh, and the black beast with all the eyes. That's the
Oh,
cartoon.
the cartoon, yeah.
Yeah.
He was called the Black Beast of.
Yes. What's your favorite color?
Red, no blue. Ah!
You got the line wrong. That's blue, no yellow.
Yep, got to be clear on your favorite colors.
One of my favorite parts in the movie, which I really wish they'd done a little bit more with, was the awful inbred, pansy, pale-looking guy that was supposed to get married. It was like, but father,
Oh yes,
the
the guy that had the isn't that the guy that had the same haircut as He-Man?
Yes, he did. Yes, and he's the prisoner in the tower.
Yes.
And his dad's keeping him prisoner because he has to marry against his will.
I thought he was
And then like John
Rumpelstiltskin.
Cleese comes up and is like, oh, I thought this was going to be a woman.
Yeah, it kills everybody.
And, because while the guards are watching him, the king just told him, don't let him leave this room. So they let him do anything else he wants.
Yes.
And he sneaks and he
Father.
grabs a bow and arrow and he writes a note and he ties it to the arrow. And he's looking at the guards like they're going to stop him or something. And they just smile at him because he's not trying to leave the room. And he aims the arrow out the window, but he doesn't look where he's shooting it. And he just goes, boing! And then you see Lancelot and his companion is not Patsy. It's Conrad! Come on, Conrad! and they're hopping over the rocks at this lake, and you hear the arrow come flying in, and you hear that shoo-doing kind of thing. And Conrad's standing there with an arrow in his chest, and he says, message for you, son!
And then he keeps being like, I'm not dead. Like, you could save me.
Well, that's a
And
running
then-
joke through the whole thing. Yeah, the guy that's going to go on the death cart's all, I'm not dead yet. And then the same thing with that guy. Oh, I think I can do quite well. I think I can go with you. And then Lancelot says, oh, no. You stay here and I'll go heroically do this because it's good for my... And then Lancelot can't remember the words and stuff. And Conrad has to give him the right words. Idiom!
Inbred looking prince. I think it's like Herbert or something like that.
Something like that.
And he keeps trying to turn it into a musical and burst into song.
Yeah.
No.
He's the
Stop,
prisoner in the
stop.
tower. That's right. And then when he falls out of the window...
Are you here to like...
Oh, he doesn't fall out of the window. Yeah. Because Lancelot shows up like you said and says, I didn't know you were a dude or whatever. And then even the guy's dad comes in because he starts to sing because Lancelot's going to rescue him. Oh, no singing allowed. No singing allowed. Right. And Herbert? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
He-Man.
Herbert.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's all, I made a rope, and he's got a bunch of sheets tied together, and he's tying it to the bed, and he throws it out the window, and he starts to climb out. He's like, Lancelot, I'm ready, let's go. and Herbert's dad walks up with a knife and just cuts it.
I thought like the unsaid thing that was funny about that was that it's like, dude, you could have escaped the whole time, like on your own.
You did, right.
Yeah,
What?
he did need
And
to
then,
be
and
rescued.
then the best part about singing is later on, somebody carries him into the dilapidated wedding party that Lancelot has killed half of the people in.
Right.
And they're like, wait, no, he's still alive, And somebody says, how did you survive that fall? He says, I didn't fall. I was saved at the last minute. And so he says, well, how did that happen? He says, well, I'm going to tell you. And the music starts. And everybody goes, he's going to tell. And the dude's dad's pissed off because, first he was having his son marry this ugly chick because it was going to make their kingdoms become one. And he was tired of living in a swamp and he wanted some good land.
their royal wedding.
And so he goes, okay, Lancelot killed her dad while he was coming in to save Herbert. So,
Yeah.
your father passed away. And of course he says, no, I think I might be better. And that dude nods his head and they kill her dad. And your husband to be, my son, has fallen to his death out the window. And she's all like, what? She says, but don't worry, I'll be your dear old dad. now he's, putting those two kingdoms together. And he says, and you're going to marry the brave Sir Lancelot. Because now he wants to hook up with Camelot. And Lancelot's like, what? No. I'm going to tell. He's going to tell. He's going to tell. It's only a model. Oh, that's actually what they say about Camelot.
Yeah.
When they're all coming over the hill and they see Camelot, and Arthur goes, Camelot! And Lancelot goes, Camelot! And that's where that whole scene happens where they play the drums on the dude's heads, on the helmets and all that. And that whole song. And then they say, oh, it's a silly play. Oh, no, first they say, Camelot, Camelot, Camelot. And it's Patsy. Patsy says, it's only a motto.
It's a silly place.
It's not good at Camelot. It's a silly place.
It's a silly place.
Like, who are people in popular culture, like, right now that it's like we can assign these roles? Or, like, who would they be? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who would Kanye West
The
be?
Tale of Sir Lancelot could be, yeah.
He'd be like,
Kanye West would be Sir Robin.
No, you have to
The
have
Tale of Kanye West. He
He'd
kicked
have
him
to
down.
have
He
the
ran
same
away.
haircut as He-Man, too. That would be better than his blonde hair. Just give him the same haircut as He-Man.
Basically a hair helmet.
Oh, that's actually a funny story. I'm just walking down the street smoking a cigarette when it was still legal to do that type of thing, you
Yeah.
know? And there was this guy, he had a haircut like He-Man. He was really wearing a tunic, like one of these Dungeons and Dragons
So he's all
guys.
set
yeah,
up.
Yeah, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on State Street. He walks by me, he covers his face. Dirty, filthy smoker.
it's like, dude, you're in a fucking tunic with like a
It's
bowl
like,
cut.
dude, you're He-Man. You can handle it. You fought Skeletor, man. What do you think he smells like? What do you think you were breathing in when you were fighting Skeletor?
You wear boiled leather, for Christ's sake.
You know, I know we don't have visuals on this podcast, but I couldn't help but notice when you talked about the He-Man haircut that Alexis was a little hurt.
No one can see my face right now, but just so everyone knows, that was a shocked face because
She's just got a
That
little
is a
He-Man bob
colorful
going on
intermission.
right now.
I know
Little page boy action.
I know, and that's what I told my boyfriend. I was like, I can't let you see me right now because like my hairstylist butchered my hair and gave me a page boy haircut, and he was like,
And he said, I know, I like it shaven anyway.
No, he said, no, that turns me on. I was like, oh no,
yeah,
this might be a mistake. Like, this is fucked up.
The uncomfortably short bangs on a man. That's what makes the He-Man haircut. That's what sells it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what sells it.
It's a little bit above the eyebrows.
Yeah.
And they have to curl a little bit in.
That's 45
No,
or
just
older.
the giant, like, yellow hand just made me think of, like, the gorilla hand in Monty Python.
That's right.
Yeah.
When they're turning the pages in the book.
Yeah.
The
Giant
human
gorilla
hand goes into the
hand.
page and this gorilla hand grabs them. Do you remember why they got busted at the end of the movie and all the cop cars pull up and take them away?
Well, because they were sieging a castle.
No. At the beginning of the movie,
Oh, the historian.
there's a
The
historian narrator
is, like,
who's talking about
killed,
Britain and all that. And one of them, I think it's Lancelot, rides by him and slits his throat.
Yes.
And then little scenes here and there, it breaks off, and you see like the police checking out the scene of the crime and all that.
Then there's the holy hand grenade of Antioch.
The holy
of
hand grenade.
course,
That's
the
how they
holy
kill a
hand
rabbit.
And
And what do you count to before you throw the holy hand grenade?
you have to count to 3.
Depends on who you are.
1, 2, 5.
1, 2, 5. No, 3. Sorry.
Which
Not
is actually.
And they feasted on the sloths and the lambs and the orangutans. Skip a bit. Brother Maynard. That was the priest.
Yeah.
Skip a bit, Brother Maynard.
1, 2, 3.
They should have made it. Well, okay, they did have the cave thing with the Black Beast of Og, but there should have been a like Mines of Moria situation. Where they go way down under the
Exploring
mountains.
the catacombs.
Deep under the mountain. Ooh, the catacombs. That'd be more like going under the Vatican.
I
We're gonna live with
actually.
even though the Vatican didn't exist yet, but
Well, no,
well, it's
but
modern times. Yes, it is.
All you need for catacombs
No,
is
but like I actually did that in
Nice.
Europe, and
Nice.
like, well, I went to catacombs, and then I went to some famous but like smaller church in Rome that like there was like an underground portion of it where they just like collected all of the bones of the saints and the priests.
They
And
have
like
the actual body of Jesus Christ down there.
so we're told. But then they would like put these elaborate like decorations of that like of the bones and the skeletons together, and you'd be walking down this sort of tunnel and looking at like like these skeletons and bones and be surrounded by it. And at first it was like, oh, cool, like this is pretty trippy, like awesome. But then like the farther you walk down that little tunnel, the more it starts to sink in that it's like, hey, like I'm actually surrounded by like
Dead
human
people.
skeletons right now.
Ancient dead
and
people.
It's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
And some of those catacombs go under the mountains of Pompeii.
Well, no.
Well,
Those
point.
there are catacombs at Pompeii.
Pompeii is a catacomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's basically like all these bodies that were preserved when the
From
volcano.
the lava, yeah.
I just know I got fooled. I got fooled into watching this movie called Pompeii because Jon Snow actor was in it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, Kit Harington?
And lady friend, she was like, let's go watch it. Jon Snow in Pompeii. Let's go watch it.
That must have been a thrilling movie. Hey, man, check it out. The earth is glowing red. I can't breathe. I'm dead.
Don't know what's gonna
Movie's over.
happen next.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was like, it was actually worse than the Guy Ritchie King Arthur, which was real bad. the Guy Ritchie, it was like, the Sons of King Arthur, or is this Sons of Anarchy? And then Charlie Hunnam, he's just a terrible actor. Too many seasons playing Sons of Anarchy.
What was that movie that was supposed to be kind of like a King Arthur thing, and it had all this rock and roll? Oh, it's called The Knight's Tale.
Oh, with Heath Ledger. Yeah. And they did the whole like Queen thing. We will rock you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what it had like a mini cult following, that movie, for
I
some
feel
reason.
like Heath Ledger's one of those losses that was like, that guy could have pumped out so much more.
No,
He had
that was
so
a
much
really
talent.
tragic loss. I mean, especially because he was just so young. So yeah, he could have done so much
So
more.
much.
Whereas like
Liam Neeson paid to have him taken out.
He was a genuine threat.
Yeah, Matt Damon chipped in.
you mean
Take this guy out.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
The Tale of Sir Trump. What would it be? Let's get into that.
Sir Trump.
Yeah.
First of all, he goes to the Gorge of Eternal Peril, where you ask the three questions. Hey, this is the bridge of death. Must answer me these questions three. So he's at the Gorge of the Eternal Peril.
Great. It's all great.
It's great, but now he's got to set up the toll booth there. So before you can even answer the three questions, you got to pay up.
A Trump charge.
He consulted an ancient seer.
And then he goes up to the castle, where the French guys are. And forget the Grail, man. I'm building a wall here. I'm building a wall, and they're going to pay for it.
I feel like we have to get like the wench Stormy Daniels here somehow.
My Holy Grail is the best Holy Grail. My satellite Grail radar is bigly done. Bigly done.
Oh, so we don't have to look for the Holy Grail because we have satellite Grail radar.
We have something much better than the Holy Grail.
We have Grail GPS.
We don't have a Trojan rabbit. We have a Trojan beaver, if you know what I mean.
And you grab it. You grab it.
How many guys can we fit in that beaver?
Let's find out.
We'll find out later.
I'm gonna play that game.
You know, you just when you want to know how tough the enemy is, you got to walk right up and grab him by the beaver.
Oh, you just go up and grab the beaver. And they love it because you're famous. They love it.
That's right.
All right, I'm going to call on Kevin first. What'd you use, Kevin?
All right, so I'm balling right now. I got Ancient Seer, Ark of the Covenant.
Damn it! I was gonna call you an Ark of the Covenant.
Satellite Grail radar. Storming the castle. Royal wedding. Light the beacon. The Black Plague, and loading the dead cart. And I got a bluff point from Alexis.
yeah.
Giving you half a point for Black Plague. That was slipped in. That was so halfway done.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, but
fair
that's
enough.
still, and you got a bluff point, so that's 8.5. Alexis, what do you got?
Okay, so I got large wooden scales,
Yep.
Anger Watt, The Tale of Sir Trump.
I caught you on that one.
It's a good one.
Trusty Servant Patsy, The Green Knight, and The Trojan Beaver. And the ones that I did not get were Sir Dexter, Bribe the Pope, which I really wish I had gotten in Bribe the Pope. That was like what
we brought up the Vatican and
I
the
know,
catacombs.
I know.
Okay.
Follow the Wizard. And
Follow the Wizard! Oh,
I know, I really missed
I wish I
that.
had that one. Okay.
An Autonomous Collective. And
that you could have brought up when he was talking
Yes.
about what we were calling it.
I know, but
I
I'm
was like-
too.
and I even said, "Are you sure that's what it's called?" And you could have said,
I'm
"No, it's an
too-
autonomous collective."
I'm too dumb to
was both,
be able
really.
to
They
figure
say
that
both in the
out.
movie.
They
so-
do say both.
They say both.
Yeah, because there's really no
Um,
difference between an autonomous collective and an
And
anarcho-syndicalist.
rolling the wine barrels.
So you ended up with a total of 6. Rod, what do you got?
All right, I got a question of weight ratios. The Knights Who Say.
Yes, it was the Knights Who Say blank, is what
That's
I wrote on
right.
the card.
But I said the Knights Who Say Neat.
Which was a little bit of a cop out. I made it a blank so you could make up something else besides knee. The Knights Who Say, I don't know, whatever. Okay, go on.
Playing the helmet drum set.
Playing the helmet drum set. Eyes, nobody called you on
Dig
that.
a tunnel under the wall.
Dig the two.
Exploring the catacombs.
Oh, nice. That was a
And
good segue.
My particular idiom.
Particular idiom.
Interesting.
And you called me on one.
And I called you on one.
On the Elephant Caravan.
Yes.
Which gives you a total of 7. I don't know, I shouldn't give Kevin 8.5. He cheated. He didn't do that.
Whatever. I still should have got Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh my gosh, you didn't use Rumpelstiltskin!
I did use it. I should get a half point for that, yo.
I would have used Rumple Foreskin.
When we started talking about Rapunzel, I slid it up in there real quick.
When you started talking about Rapunzel, I slid it up in there with the I'm sorry, that's what
what
Rapunzel
she said.
said.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick.
Well, I got news for you guys. I didn't get any bluff points. And I had bluff points planned that I forgot to use. I got, he must be a king because he hasn't got shit all over him. I got carrier pigeons. And that whole story I talked about where the pigeons were in the cage and then each scene there's one less pigeon. No, that's not in the movie.
I was wondering because I was like, man, I'm so
That's what
observant.
I should have told you to
did
call
not-
me on it.
Well, no, because
I made that up.
I immediately took it out on myself and I was like, oh my God, I really don't pay attention because I did
I
not
got
remember that at
none
all.
shall pass.
That's true, you did.
And I'm really surprised nobody called me on the chalice of destitution.
Oh, wow.
Because that was my opposite of the Holy Grail. Instead of the Holy Grail, the chalice of destitution. But you guys brought up
But it's
that other show.
But it so worked for like
Yeah,
what we
you
were
guys brought
talking
up,
about at the time.
yeah.
And then I got Prisoner in the Tower. And that Alex helped me with that one because she brought up that He-Man haircut dude. And then because we were talking about that story, I also got No Singing Allowed. And then I brought up the Mines of Moria and stuff so that I could get Deep Under the Mountains.
Half point.
I don't know, we talked about it more than once. All right, I'll half point it if you want
Quarter
me to.
point.
Keep going lower. It's eighth.
I got the Gorge of Eternal Peril, and that's where I said Donald Trump was going to
0.25.
go and put up the toll bridge. I got It's Only a Model. This might be the first one I've won in a long time. I think I'm going to win.
Yeah, he's winning.
I got Banging Coconuts, and I got, come on, everybody guess. Spotted Dick!
Of course.
I got Spotted Dick!
Of course he got spotted dick.
Of course you
Okay,
got
so-
of course you got that one.
And
That's a total
I was so
of
tempted to
11
call
for me,
you on
so
that,
I'll turn a
but-
couple of those into half points, and I'll make it, I got a 9.5. And I still win! And I don't win very often.
Oh, fuck off.
I finally won one.
The ref, the owner, and the player on the
Hey.
team.
Now, if everybody showed up today, I thought that I wasn't even going to have 5 or 6 of them in my hand. Now, usually I don't win because I give all the cards to you guys, and I have like maybe 3 of them. Because I don't care if I win. But today I ended up with a whole bunch
Well,
of
you
cards.
know, I'm
oh my gosh,
actually-
wait. I have to take at least 2 points away because I had more cards than you guys.
Oh.
Okay, we all tied. Next week, I have no idea, haven't come up with a topic at all. Another episode of the List Game brought to you by Stanko Vision. I'm gonna do no Stanko Vision.
No.
It's our main sponsor.
Because I don't understand it and I think it's
Then
gross.
listen to episode number 2.
Yeah.
The whole Stanko Vision story is there.
It's all
Okay,
there.
I haven't listened to episode number 2.
It
So
was-
yeah,
You have
I'm
to
not.
listen to the beginning
I'm
and
not.
listen to
I'm
them
not.
in order.
I'm not gonna be like randomly participating in like fart sounds.